All right, today is a shoot day, and I'm excited. We're going back to shoot the same studio that we shot at just a couple weeks ago, which if you watched that vlog, you might remember I said I was really hoping that that job would turn into more work. I really enjoy working with this client. I really enjoy working in this space. It's beautiful, professional studio space, and the shoots are just generally fun. Good people, good hang. They're friends of mine, so I love getting to work with them. Today, I think we're doing 1 and 2 person talking head, social media, and interview style pieces. So we're all loaded up. We're prepped for the shoot. We are bringing the teleprompter out today. We're going to use that just for a couple pieces. I got the scripts last night, got those loaded up into my iPad. So hopefully that should be pretty seamless and pretty quick. Just 2 camera. I think the setup is actually exactly the same as the last time we were here. Couch, chairs, on the black cyc wall, so that should be nice. I don't know if we'll do the tube lights or not. We'll see once we get there, but as you can see, woke up to a beautiful sunny but snowy morning here in Middle Tennessee. Now, last night as I was prepping for this shoot, I was going back and forth a lot on my lens choice. I love using the DZO Vespids. The 21mm, the wide, is what I used in the last couple talking head shoots I did for my A cam, but I noticed once I got into post that the footage was just a little bit softer than I would have liked, especially on the face and the eyes. And I don't know if that means I was just slightly off in my focus or if that's just a characteristic of the lens. I do know that the Vespids aren't crazy sharp, and the 21 in particular is maybe just a little bit softer than some of the other focal ranges. But I'm curious to hear if you own the DZO Vespids, specifically the 21mm. I would love to know in the comments if you found that lens to be a little bit soft, or if it was most likely just my mistake on the focus side of things. So I didn't have time to do any more testing. So I'm actually gonna go with just a stock 24-70 and avoid that Vespid for today, just in case it is just the softness of the lens. I think in this context, where it's more of a professional talking head, corporate style, wow, this is bouncing all over the place. Corporate style shoot, I would rather have a sharp image than maybe a more stylized one. So it could also just be a situation where it's right tool for the right job, and soft look isn't inherently bad necessarily, but in probably more of this kind of corporate talking head setting, might not be exactly what I'm going for. So we're just gonna go a little more sharp and clinical. We'll go with the Sigma 24-70 and then probably have the Sigma 85 art as our B cam angle. I really am loving that lens. I think it does a really great job for the price in particular. Man, the Sigma art stuff is great. So it's a 4-hour shoot today, 10 to 2. I'm showing up at 9 to give myself plenty of time to set up and get prepped. Even though the setup isn't exactly complicated, I still would always rather have extra time than be stressed and rush. So we'll have an hour to get set up, and then hopefully we'll roll for 4 hours and knock this out. The team is organized. We got scripts, we got shot lists, so it should be a quick, fun, easy, enjoyable shoot. By the way, if you're curious how I'm doing these driving shots, I have the Tilta suction cup, and then I just have a small rig arm on there, and this thing is actually pretty sick. Got my A7 IV with the Rode NTG on the Sigma 24. I mean, pretty sick setup. It holds solid. I've been really happy with it. So you can see pretty much the exact same setup on the lighting side as last time. We still have the 8x on the T-bar, and then we're doing a book light with our 500B bounced through. Now, the one difference is we're not using our fit light and we're not using the spotlight. You can see I still have those set up off to the side just in case we did want to turn those on for a little more lift and balance in the room, but I ended up leaving them off. We didn't need them, and we didn't end up using the spotlight on the back wall either. One big addition, though, is the tennis balls, maybe a little addition, but I did go out and buy a pack of tennis balls just to cut up and put on the bottom of all my stands just to kind of protect their floor a little bit. So we ended up, once we got the teleprompter up, having to kind of put in some negative fill to stop some light leak into the camera, just the way we had it set up, but just hanging, actually that's a tablecloth with just some metal clamps, worked out great. Now the teleprompter is just mounted on the front with the iPad running all of our scripts. Now something that was hard about the teleprompter, the one that I have at least, doesn't mount on rails or directly to the camera. The camera actually has to mount on top of this particular teleprompter. And so I had to get a little creative in the rig. I couldn't get the V-mount exactly on the rails as normal, so I had to get kind of funky or fancy with this separate V-mount plate off to the side on the tripod, but it ended up working out well. Now, as far as a monitor, what I'm using is Sony's monitor and control app just to a different iPad that I have. As you can see, there's a lot of people on set for this shoot, and so I wanted to have a way for the producer and the director to kind of monitor what was going on. I've thought a lot about possibly investing in a director's monitor. I think in these kinds of shoots, that would be super valuable. You know, the monitor and control app is great, but I haven't found a good way to actually have LUTs on that app without it also being turned on in the camera and then going over HDMI, and that kind of messes with my monitor on the actual camera itself. So, you know, this gives at least the director a way to see what the framing is, but they can't actually kind of monitor it with a LUT and see colors. And, you know, I would just like something a little more professional than an iPad, but maybe that's a little bit out of the budget right now. So I'll also notice I did end up going with the 50mm DZO Vespid on the Bcam instead of the Sigma 85. Once I got set up, the 85 was just a little bit too long for the space, and you know, I could have moved the camera back and made it work, but I just quickly switched out. I went with a 50, and I was happy with it. Now, I will say, now that I've gotten back into post on this project, there is such a noticeable difference between kind of the clinical sharpness of my Sigma 24-70 and the softer, more, I guess, cinematic look of the DZO Vespid series. I mean, honestly, I like the Vespid a lot more. It looks a lot more beautiful, but trying to match the two on the A and the B cam, it is noticeable. What I'm actually having to do is add a little bit of softening, a little bit of halation or bloom in post to the Sigma just to soften up the image a little bit to get them to match a little bit better. So something that I definitely learned and probably should have known, but learning experience there in terms of matching two different, not just two different lenses, but two different very different style of lenses. All right, second shoot day of the week. Once again, we're shooting for a retainer client, and I have finally done what I said I was going to do and slimmed down the gear. So I'm not bringing those two big black Neewer cases. I'm just bringing two light stands, two lights, the cameras that I need. I am still bringing my Pavo tubes because I think those are just a really fun, creative tool, and I like having them on hand, but really happy with not having a car full of massive cases. I also recently picked up a new softbox. I saw David Moorfield get the SmallRig totally collapsible softbox, and that to me was exactly the kind of softbox I was looking for. Something small and portable, easy to set up, quick to use, but can still absolutely do a great job. So fired up about that pickup. We'll use that for the first time on this shoot. We're shooting a couple social pieces. These are just event promos for some upcoming events for this client. So it should be a pretty short shoot, in and out in like an hour or two. Super easy setup for this one. I just have the FX30 on sticks. Using the 21mm, I decided to go back to it for this shoot as a good test, and then just one light. That's just our Nanlite FC300B, one stand, and then our new SmallRig softbox, which worked great. Packed in small, kept it really nice and easy for this shoot. So always easy to shoot social media content. Really happy with how it came out, and finally learning to pack a little bit lighter.